Welcome to Soul Elevated Life. Happy Friday. Yesterday I was talking with a friend and he said something really, really profound, because I'm all about sharing very profound things with you. And have you ever read the book Conversations with God? It's a 3-part series. This guy has these conversations with God and he writes them all out. And it's, like whenever you have conversations with God, it is filtered through your interpretation. But, whenever I have dreams, and I'm speaking to a higher being, usually there's very little words. God or the multiverse or a living master, typically in your dreamlike state, is very succinct. Like, she doesn't say too much. She just says what's absolutely needed. And usually she doesn't even have to talk. You get the message. But this time, God spoke. And he said to my friend, so my friend was sleeping and he was dreaming. And he heard, he woke up, but he was still in a dreamlike state. And God said, I don't remember the exact words, I'm summarizing here. But he said, there's really important stuff that I would like to tell you. And there's actually 2 things. The first thing is, I want you to really feel into this, okay? As I say it, I want you to close your eyes and really feel into what I say. Like, really, really feel into it. Because when you do, it will give you the shivers and the goosebumps. First thing God says, or the multiverse says, is, you are loved more than you could ever know. You are loved more than you know. Okay, feel into it. You are loved more than you know. So that's the first thing, right? And the second thing is, you are never alone. You are never alone. So you are loved more than you could ever know. And 2, you are never alone. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling this, you're hearing it, what does it tell you about your life? Do you ever feel like you're alone, or do you ever feel like you are not loved? So if these are 2 truths, the first truth is, you are loved more than you could ever know. Because, we live in a 3-dimensional world. And so the limitation of like how much love we feel, especially for ourselves, by others and by higher beings, it's kind of limited to our senses, our physical senses. And 2 is, you are never alone. You're never ever alone. It's like in our deepest moments of despair, when we are downtrodden and we are sad and we are upset, we feel so alone. We think we're alone, but it's not true. It's not true. When I was little, I always felt like someone was with me. There was always someone watching me from behind, someone kind of observing me, and I could feel it. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm sharing this with you, because the multiverse is speaking to me. And whenever I brushed my teeth, whenever I was in school, wherever I walked around, I always felt really safe. I knew that I was never alone, and someone was always with me and watching over me. So that's when I was a little kid. And then as I grew older, and I kind of lost that feeling. Maybe after, I don't remember when I lost it. And then the other thing is, you are loved more than you could ever know. And think about your royal lineage. Think about where you came from. Think about your desires, your right, your birthright, your royal birthright. Think of the fact that you are an empress, and you are loved. You are loved more than you could ever know. I mean, that is so deep and so powerful. And so many things are skewed and so many things are misinterpreted, or actions are misunderstood because it comes from a place of love or a desire to be loved. But if you knew in your hearts of hearts, that you are always deeply, profoundly loved, very, very deeply, so much, by the multiverse, by God, by all the souls that you can't see, by the angels, by all the living masters, all the soul elevators. Like, if you had an inkling idea of how much you're loved, would you ever desire to be loved? Because in your hearts of hearts that you are loved immensely. I have a good story to share with you. When I went to this school, the lesson of the day, it was a 3-day course, and my instructor, he is amazing. His name is Roger Smith. And he goes, "What did you come here to get?" And I said to myself that I wanted very badly to experience connectedness. And people are all guessing. They're like, he's like, "What are you going to get out of this course? What did you come here to get?" And we all said different things. And he never answered our question. He never said, the purpose of this course is blah, blah, blah. And then over the 3 days, I realized that you were going to get exactly what you chose to get out of the course. So I'm getting shivers. I'm giving shivers left and right. The multiverse is totally speaking to me. And so I kept saying I wanted to experience connectedness. I want to experience connectedness. I want to experience connectedness. I desired to experience connectedness because I felt so disconnected. And by the 3rd day of this course, I experienced connectedness in the most deep, profound way. Deeply profound. And the way I experienced it was I looked at everyone around me, and something opened up, and I felt immense, incredible love. Like, it was overwhelming. It was so powerful, so strong. Like, it was almost like you couldn't, in this physical body, in this physical realm, you almost like there's no way you could possibly hold that kind of love. Like, it was that powerful. Like, it was so much love. And I saw the purpose of everyone around me. They were here for me. They were here to love me and to reflect and to help me understand myself. And like, every single person was a reflection of me. They were all a part of me. They were like different versions of me. And we were all connected. We were all here to serve each other and to be part of one another and to lift each other up. And I was hugging everybody because I felt so loved. Like, I went around, I hugged everybody, and I was like sobbing tears. I felt this immense love for every single person around me. And I was like bawling, like crying, bawling into the shoulders of people, like just embracing them with all my heart and soul and just bawling my eyes out because the love that I felt was so incredible and so immense. And and thank goodness it dissipated, because it was not possible to function like that, to live in this world within our physical body with our physical limitations. To experience that kind of love is like you would not be able to do anything except like bawl your eyes out or just feel so loved. Like it was overwhelming, so overwhelming. And that was just a little taste of what my friend heard. God said that you are loved more than you could ever know. And it's true. You know, when I went to that course and I felt this immense, incredible love, it was all-consuming, so powerful. And that was just a fraction of that love that I felt on a physical level in this physical body. And so when God says, you are loved more than you could ever know, you really, really have no inkling about how deeply you are loved. You are loved so, so, so deeply. So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to bask. It's okay for you to cry. I want you to bask in how much love is poured into you, how much you are loved. And think about how grateful you are by how much you are loved. Think about how much the multiverse loves you. Think about how much God loves you. Think about how much your family loves you. Just feel into how truly, immensely, deeply, profoundly you are loved. And when you think about that, you think about how connected we are, and you think about how deeply you are loved, you would approach your life differently. You would look into a stranger's eyes with love and tenderness and kindness and compassion. And you wouldn't operate from a place of fear. You would think about how human that person is and how much you are alike. And you would think, I'm so grateful for you. Thanks for being here with me. Thank you for being a part of my experience on this planet. Thank you for helping me understand connectedness. Thank you for giving me a spectrum so I can see all the colors and all the flavors of this planet, and all the colors and all the flavors in the spectrum of humanity and what we are capable of, from our feelings to our actions to our thoughts. Like there's such a wide breadth and such a huge array of all our variations, right? Okay, so let's go back to you are never alone. So when I was little, when I felt like there was always someone with me, and if you kind of felt that too, and maybe you've lost that feeling now that we've grown older, and we forget that we're never alone. And you know, when we speak to the multiverse, when we pray, when we are in deep sorrow, when we're in sadness, when we're in moments of our lives where we're out of alignment, you know, when you remember that you are never alone and you are deeply, deeply loved, there's a lot of solace and comfort there. So powerful. And my friend, he's like, after God said those two things, he said, oh my gosh, like God is talking to me. You know, he's like, because he read Conversations with God, and he imagined, okay, if God were to speak to me, like, what would I say? Like, what would I say to God? And he was just like, what should I ask? What should I ask? He goes, how do I improve my life? That's a really good question, right? How do I improve my life? And God says, do it. It wasn't roundabout. It wasn't drawn out. It wasn't all these ifs and but and magic button. Like there was no, oh, let me give you this wand and you can improve your life. It was, do it with dead seriousness, with dead sincerity. So if that doesn't give you the chills and the goosebumps, you're not listening to your body. If you spoke to God and you asked, how can I improve my life? And he says, do it. Now, do you understand the magnificence of who you are and your royal lineage and the empress that you are? Do you get it? You are so utterly powerful that you have within you the power to manifest the life you would like to live. You have the power to fulfill all your desires. Whatever areas in your life that you desire to improve or better, you shall, and you can. You send a message to the Almighty God, you send a message to the Almighty Multiverse, and she calls into being. She sends you all these messages, all these signs, all these opportunities. And the thing is, it might not be the way you think it's supposed to look. I mean, think about how, like, I couldn't, in this physical realm, this physical world, I couldn't even tolerate within my capacity the love, the immense love that is poured into us, that already exists. So how could we possibly fathom how it's going to go when we set out our dreams and we choose and we think, like, I desire this. I want to live this dream life. I desire to have ultimate freedom, financial freedom. I desire to live an amazing life. I desire to have complete, utter freedom. I desire to have deep, meaningful fulfillment in my life. I desire to completely operate from my soul's alignment. And, like, if you desire those things with all your heart and soul, with all your being, and we are living in this physical realm, this physical world, how could you possibly, in this physical manifestation, this physical existence, how could you possibly imagine how it's supposed to go? Like, how it's going to look like? What happened, Austin? What is it? Why'd you get ink all over your hands? Go wash them. Can you go wash your hands?
No. Can you put a Band-Aid on?
What? You have ink on your hands. Why do you need Band-Aid? You need to wash your hands.
No, I need a Band-Aid.
Okay, wash your hands first and I'll put a Band-Aid on it. Wash your hands first. Okay? Wash your hands. And then I'll put a Band-Aid on it. Get the marker off your hands. Were you playing with markers?
No. I'll play with stamp. That's stamp.
Okay, well, get off the stamp ink and then I'll wash your hands. Okay, so imagine that you are, so you have all these desires and you have all these dreams and you have no idea, no earthly idea how it's going to look like or how it's going to go. And you just know that these are your desires and it's in your hearts of hearts, and you have complete, utter faith that God and the multiverse will do everything in his or her power to help you and assist you and send you all these messages and all these things.
But why my dad is coming too late?
He's going to pick up Ava. It's not too late. He usually gets home around 6:45. It just looks dark outside because the clouds are, that's why the lighting is so bad, because the clouds are super duper dark. Looks like a big storm. Okay, so I need to wrap up this video because
What?
So
A big storm?
yeah, look at the clouds. It's a big storm, right?
I don't see thunderstorm.
Yeah, it's gonna be a thunderstorm.
Can
Can I finish the video and then we can talk?
No, I need a Band-Aid right now.
Okay, well, ask him to come get you a Band-Aid. Yeah, so you have no idea. Austin, turn off that light, please. You have no idea how it's going to go. You have no idea how it's going to take physical form. You just know that you have these intentions, you have these desires, and you have complete utter faith that it'll happen. You're just going to surrender to how it's going to go exactly. You are not focusing on the how. You are just focusing on the feeling and the why. Like you're completely focused on the feeling and the why. And you're just letting go of the how. Like you surrender to God, you surrender to the multiverse that he or she will work out the how for you. You just pay really close attention. And in the meantime, you just focus on the where and the what and the how you feel about it. And where you desire it to be. And when you do that, the floodgates open. The floodgates open. It's like everything is in alignment. Everything starts coming your way. You get tested. You get pushed to operate outside your comfort zone, and so many things. But in the end, everything is perfect. You embrace everything, and you choose to embrace everything. You choose the meaning you give to every challenge that comes your way, and when you show a ton of gratitude and show a ton of faith and trust, because you know that there's a purpose for your growth and your expansion, then you'll keep getting more and more of it, and you practice that muscle, and it keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Divine timing is truly divine. So, that's my challenge for you. You know, remember that you are loved more than you could ever know. And 2, you are never, ever, ever alone.
Mom,
Oh, good, Austin.
I just Auntie put on.
Auntie put it on for you.
Uh-huh.
And then surrender. Surrender with the utmost. Austin, can you let me finish my video, please? Austin. Sit. Austin, come on. Sit. Let me finish my video. Surrender with the utmost amount of faith. And if you need help, if you don't know where to start, you're like, okay, that sounds all great and everything, Tuan, but I'm scared. I don't know how to do this and all that stuff. Then you can do one of many things. You can hire a coach, which is where I come in. You can hire me as your coach, and you can leverage the energy of money and truly set your intention on how you desire things to go. And we will be badasses and powerhouses together. You can start taking baby steps. You can break it down into steps that you can do that get you closer and closer to your goals. So if you have the utmost faith that your desires will manifest, and you don't really know the how, you just know that's the direction you want to go, all the steps that you take, all the actions you take is more and more confidence and evidence to build on your faith that you trust and surrender to God and the multiverse that it will happen in the most divine way. It might not necessarily the way you imagine it would go, but it will go. And 2 and 3, you can do a lot of inner work. So inner work is you can do the journaling, you can do the meditation, you can do the daily manifestations. Did I just say that? Journaling, meditation, daily manifestations. And so when you do those things, you start stepping into that person. You start stepping into that person that has faith and belief, and you start being and doing what that person would do if they had faith. And if you need help in that area, because we all have our triggers and we have our excuses, I recommend that you take my mini course, which is where I teach you the secrets to manifestations and meditation, and also how to follow your triggers so that you can better understand yourself and any subconscious limiting beliefs you have within yourself that don't serve you. And so when you dig into those, then you are more free, and then you're more empowered to proceed with faith and empowerment. And so if you'd like to take that course, I just launched it on the 13th, the 4th. I just launched on the 4th of September, and I'll put a link below for you to take the course. It's a smoking deal. It's so good, yet it's only $97. Well worth the money. And remember, you can always choose to generate value out of anything you do and pay for. So you can choose to have lots of value over everything that happens in your life, good or bad. You can choose to give the meaning to your relationships. You can choose to have the value out of your relationships. Like, everything serves a purpose. And when you start to see it in that way, then you're not so focused on the money. You're more focused about the value that you get out of it and your intentions of what you would like to get out of it. And the other thing is, so if you love seeing me and you love my content and you love hearing me go live, you can follow me on YouTube. I'll upload the videos on YouTube daily whenever I have 2 cameras, and typically that's at home. Or you can follow me on Facebook if you like and follow my page on Facebook. You can search for Soul Elevated Life if you're watching this on a different channel. You're watching it from my personal page. And if you set to see me first, then whenever I go live, you'll always know, so you can get my latest soul-feeding content, or you can learn about my latest revelations and my epiphanies and my moments of enlightenment. But I'm here to serve you and to help you feed your soul and to have you leave our conversations with incredibly profound, deep enlightenment. That is my commitment to you. And last but not least, here's to you living a soul elevated life. And I will see you tomorrow.